Hi, welcome to another video of the Targeted Individual Program, the Targeted Individual Experience. Quick update on my targeting. Hear the the car alarm. Yes, I've been going through this all the time. You guys hear it. I point it out when it's happening, so you guys should understand by now my targeting. So anyway, yesterday they were um, busy, very very busy. Not just with the police sirens, the remote monitoring in the house, but the electronic harassment. So yesterday I received two text message, right, from two text message, okay, and when I clicked on the text, opened it up, it was a message, and it had the word stop, and it was sent multiple times, as you can see here on my screen. Then about an hour later, I received this message from Amazon saying that a refund was issued. And I'm like, what refund? So I went into my Amazon account, checked to see, what refund. But actually, not check to see, but, because I was kind of perplexed. I was like, wait, I didn't, um, you know, I didn't call Amazon to ask for a refund for anything. You know, I I didn't I didn't do that. You know, I did call Amazon to because I had ordered my mom some vitamins. Um, my mom is 90, and order her some vitamins. So apparently, one of the vitamins that I ordered was open, and then the other one, I thought they didn't deliver it, but they did, right? So the refund was issued for a earbud that I bought. It was like $20, something like that, $21, right, or something like that. And I'm just like, hold up, But anyway, these earbuds, I lost one. I don't know if I lost it on the bus or on my way over by Pam. One after I think it was like on a weekend, I believe. So I still have one, but I never called Amazon because I lost the earbud. It fell out of my ears. You know, so I was kind of like perplexed by this. But then I started to think and realize what was happening. I was being targeted, and this was a subliminal message. Remember, I always talk about how they deal with numbers and money, right? So, for instance, during the week, I've been getting these threats about my the stimulus payment that's supposed to, everybody's getting, and the other times when they passed the first two stimulus check, I got the check right away, no problem. Actually, the second time was like super fast, right away. This time, this is like the second payment is going out. Still haven't received it. Um, and so like I said, they've been sending me subliminal message about not receiving it, and if I receive it, with the police, sirens stuff like that. So every time I think about the stimulus check, I say, when does it come? There's always some type of police activity, right? Even yesterday, uh, same thing. You know, certain keywords, particularly around 7 to 8 o'clock and 7 to 9 o'clock last night. Heavy remote neural monitoring. Even this morning when I got up, I made the kids breakfast, and then I went. My daughter's class was started. Right now she's doing phonics, so I'm doing this video while she's doing that. Um, so like I said, yes, last night between 7 to 9, police sirens. Then this morning I got up. This morning, made breakfast, woke the kids up because they have class, and I went and I picked up my JBL headphone. Right, it is that blue headphone from JBL. I picked it up, and again, there's that particular car honk. right? So I picked it up and I walked to the. When I picked it up, when I grabbed it, it was that particular car honk. Walked over to the other side of the coffee table, put it back down. The same particular car honk, and I begin to recognize the sound, right, of that particular horn from the car whenever I touch things, whenever they can't use the police sirens or the fire trucks or the ambulance, they will use a particular car with a certain sound of the horn, and so that's how I know that I'm being monitored in the home and stuff like that. When I talk about whenever I touch things, particularly if it's metal, like a spoon or the sink, the kitchen sink, the they would be again car honking, right? And it isn't like somebody's trying to, you know, get attention from somebody or honk to, for whatever reason. It is simply because I'm being remotely monitored, right? And also I'm being surveilled in the home, right, with through the walls technology used by the police force, right? So anyway, so they've been sending me a lot of subliminal messages about again, and this I said this happens all the time, right? So they go back, they use the homelessness theme, they use the gay theme, they'll use the isolation theme, all these themes that they seem to uh, incorporate over and over again, right? And it's a reoccurrence of those theme all the time. If that theme that they're trying to do doesn't work out, then they go back to another one, and so forth and so forth. So, like I said, so lately they've been sending me messages about not receiving my stimulus check, not receiving my disability, and if I do, I'll get arrested by the police. Last night they were so desperate to try to keep me here, and the reason why I stayed and spent the night here, like I said in my previous video from last night, uh, when I came here yesterday morning by Pam, she was very sick. She looked like crap, and then she was complaining about not being able to see. One of her eyes was blurry, and my daughter started complaining about the same thing too, right? About one of her eyes being you know uh, blurry, that she really couldn't see clear out of one eye, right? So I said, okay, you know what? I'll stay, right? Because and then my son, the previous night before, he was up because I wasn't here. I've been going home in the afternoon. So because of the targeting with Pam and stuff like that, and of course this morning they still use her to target me. It doesn't change. They just what they do now, what she's done now is do in a very much more subtle manner, right? And she does it when she's like, like ever since I did the video of her doing the palm fixation drill. What she does now, she doesn't. If I have my phone in my hand, she won't do it, right? Because again, they don't want me to keep um, capturing these things on video so I can expose what it is that they're doing. So they're very much more meticulous in terms of how they're targeting me now. It's more subtle with her now, and it's quick, right? So it's like it's not. She does it in such a fast, quick way, and again, they do this to bypass your defenses, right? So that there's a delay in your reaction, or no reaction at all, right? So yes, so again, like I said this morning, the car honking, the remote monitoring, and you see, I said car honk, and you just heard another honk, right? And it's that same particular car. So whoever they have outside there sitting, sending these, or who's either sending these instructions to, or have the whatever, whether it be computer or whatever it is that they have in their car, monitoring me in the home and what I say, what I do, you know, I'll hear that particular car honk. So yes. What else? Yeah. So also, yeah. So yesterday let's talk about the police sirens, right? Very heavy targeting me, the police sirens, like as if they didn't want me to leave at all. As I said, there are times when they'll try to do things I can leave, especially when using Pam to target me a lot, and then there are times when they don't want me to leave, right? And again, it's all about their agenda, right? It's all about their agenda. So If me leaving is if put a kink in their agenda, they'll try to get me to make me stay. If it doesn't, and if me leaving is beneficial to them in some way, what have you, that's what they'll do, right? So then I got this. Let me. I think I explained about this, right? With the I did. Uh, with the text and stuff like that, and the issue from the Amazon, the refund. Let me just expound on that a little bit more. So in my earlier phase in targeting, they used to, like, whenever I would something would fall out my pocket or I drop something, and I would, let's say I walk off and I realize that, hey, I dropped it. I turn around to go pick it up, right? It would be gone. Like these people would literally have these perps that was following me and watching me do all this stuff. Anything that fall out my pocket, they would just take it, right? So you got to the point where um, I just started to become very, very careful, and also that's why a lot of reason why in my early days of targeting, I always keep receipts wherever I go. Even if I go to a store just to get something, I always ask for a receipt because I knew that they were trying to set me up, right? And also coming home and finding my things missing, and it's simple things, right? It's simple things that most people would overlook, but because you're a TI, you know that they're trying to set you up to get these things, probably leave something of yours behind at a crime scene to try to implicate you in some sort of crime, because this is what these people do, right? I mean, and it's not just us as TIs that have to go through this, but me being a black man, I know that there are thousands and tens of thousands of black men that are in prison that was set up by crooked cops, right, or racist cops, right? There is no question at all in my mind because of not only what I've gone through, but because of how many cases you see within the past 10 years of people being exonerated because racist police just wanted to put black men in jail, particularly black people, particularly black men in jail. And they didn't care. They didn't care. They would tell them, hey, I don't care whether you did the crime or not, but you're going to go to jail. That's what they would say. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so yeah, so this when they sent me this was a threat. This was a threat to me, and they did not think that I was going to put it on, but then make a video on it. But then again, it shouldn't surprise them. We talk about the definition. They want to call me crazy and insane, right? But these people are crazy and insane, right? Because what's the definition of insanity? When you do the same thing over and over and over, expecting different results, and whatever it is that they're doing, they're not getting this. They're not getting any different result. They're getting the same thing. I keep doing the same thing over and over again, right? Which is doing these videos, exposing what they're doing, coming here by Pam to watch the kids, or spend some time with them, right? Going back to my house, right? Shit, we've been in COVID for almost like 2 years now, right? So everybody is on basically lockdown, except for you have people who still go to work and such, right? So, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, so like I said, so this was like a threat, right? And like I said, it has to do with numbers or what have you. They use the number 21 a lot in my targeting, the number 32. And as you can see, one of the first number here, which is the 161732, right? So again, they'll always do things to incorporate that number within my targeting, right? And so again, so this is what they're doing. So what they've done with Pam now, because I guess with me going home every night when I come over here, they didn't want that, right? They didn't, for whatever reason. That's why when I would leave here, you'll see that video that I had with the police, and even the night before, when I was waiting, I didn't post that video, but there's a police in there. And then the second time the police car came back around, I thought I recorded, but it didn't. Apparently, when I hit the record button, it didn't record for whatever reason. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to put it up because, I just didn't, I just got the first police car that turned on its lights as I was waiting at the bus stop. And then the second one, I wasn't able to get. So I said, what? I'm not going to do that. I'll get more footage of that because this is what they do. They always use the police from time to time, and I always record it, right? And unless they prevent me from recording it by hacking into my phone and disabling certain features to where I can't record or even delete my videos, right? So yeah, so again, so this morning also, so the remote node monitoring, Then they sent me some transmission through the silence and stress technology as they was doing the car honking. Oh, he's crazy, right? And I was like, okay, well, whatever. I mean, I can't just, I, I can defend myself against that, but if those in the authoritative position who have psychiatrists and psychologists and all this other stuff, and they're the ones that can label people, right? And therefore, by labeling someone, with a mental illness, then they feel like they can take away that person's right or discredit that person or what have you, blah blah blah. But like I said, we all know the history of the United States, right? So when you hear the United States talk about other countries using the psychiatric industry or psychiatric facilities to label and discredit dissidents and other people that live in that country, the United States does the same thing too. They do the exact same thing, right? So again, you really have to understand, right? What this country does, right? When they claim, but then they will turn around and tell another country, not to do the very same thing that they do here in the United States. Let me give you an example. So I was reading the post about some people on their selective outrage about, they was talking about some guy who ended up having sex with this, actually raped. I should say, I was having sex because she was underage, right? And people were outraged. It was like, oh, I hope they when he goes to jail and this and that, that they'll do him in and all this other stuff, And I'm just like, okay, yes, that is horrible, right? And yes, that person deserves to go to jail, definitely, right? But why are you guys so selective in your outrage? Do you know that there are a number of states in the United States that allow for child marriages? That is legal, right? Because some states don't even have an age limit, which means that you have young girls marrying older men, right? Google the shit. Google it, right? Google that shit. I mean, it is incredible that in the United States, the country that talks about, they are always against this, always against that, always against, terrorism, but yet they commit terrorism, right? They don't even want to fight against white supremacy, right? Just like the shooting with the Asian people in, I think it was Atlanta. They're like, oh, let's stop the anti-Asian hate. Well, how about let's stop the white supremacists from killing people, motherfuckers? How about that, right? How about that? Don't just put the shit on the Asian community or the black community. Put the shit on the white community also. Instead of saying let's end Asian hate, how about let's eliminate white supremacy on these white supremacists? But you will never hear them say that because the deep underbelly of this country is racist. It is controlled by white supremacists. Okay? They experiment on people. Non-consensual experimentation, they've done to me. Illegal implantation of microchips, they've done to me. Right? The use of mind control technology and directed energy weapons against people, which they've done to me. Right? And then on top of that, okay, after they damage you, they whether it be psychologically, physically, neurologically, sometimes all three, right? They disable you somewhat, you go on disability, and they still try to take that from you, right? After all the shit that they've done to you, and particularly as a black person, I know black people who are descendants of slavery in this country, they don't even want to get their reparation, right? And they could, they just don't want to because they don't want black people to have any sort of economic power in this country. When they talk about black people having economic power, it's only about spending, right? It's not about saving. It's not about building wealth. It's about spending. Okay? And like I said, it saddens me so much that black people participate in this against me as another black person. This shit is, I mean, to me, it is asinine and ridiculous. But I understand the mindset of people. I understand how manipulation works. I understand how propaganda works. And I understand through religion and religious ideology how people can be conditioned to commit some of the worst atrocities to other human beings and not feel any remorse about it, particularly if they have a condition of anonymity, of not being punished by those in the authoritative position. Hitler did it. Okay, it ain't nothing new. Mussolini, it ain't. These things are nothing new, right? This is just happening in the modern times. It might be in different ways because of the technologies being developed. I have been developed, but psychologically, it's the same thing. The same psychological conditioning. You can call it different names however you want, but it's the same psychological conditioning. Okay, you guys need to read Peck analysis on the deception of self. Read about Robert J. Lipton, 8 Criteria of Thought Reform. Right, Margaret M. Singer, coercive persuasion programming, programs. Right, Doc NLP. Read Victor Sykes' book on psychological manipulation. So I understand how they get people to do these things. Right? And I understand the effort that they'll go through to try to silence those that they experimented on, that they're running these psychological programs on. I understand that. And it's because I understand it is the reason why they have not been able to shut me up. Right? Because I understand that is the reason why, right, their fear-based conditioning, doesn't have the effect on me as it once was, as it once did. I mean, it still affects me, yes. I mean, I'm one person. I got there, they got like 50, 100 people, sometimes 200 people. Right? You know what I'm saying? On top of that, I have to deal with the remote monitoring on a daily basis. On top of that, I have to deal with the microwaving of the people around me wherever I go. Whether I'm here by Pam with the kids, or at my house with my sister and her kids. Right? I understand. Like my son, when he starts having the same headaches that I have. Okay. And if I take him to the doctor and say, hey, you know what? They're microwaving me and my kids, they'll call me crazy, right? Even though we know these technologies exist and they use it on people. We know this, right? But, they are the power at large, and I'm just one person, and as TIs, we're just one person. This is why they keep us so separated and isolated from each other, because they know strength comes in numbers. Right? And they'll manipulate things to shut down our YouTube channel, our Facebook pages when it comes to dealing and talking about our targeting. Right? So yeah, like I said, when they do things like this, this is the reason why I show these things, because these things are evidence and proof. Right? Why would Amazon issue me a refund? Why would Amazon issue me a refund when I didn't call and ask for a refund for an earbud, that pair of earbud in which I lost one of those earbuds, and I didn't call Amazon and ask for a refund. And it's particularly how they said it was done after sending me multiple messages with the word stop. Right? Not then they issued me a refund of $21.15. Right? I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? And most people would be like, "Oh, I gotta read. Well, it must be. I must have some guardian angel." Yeah, okay. If you're a TI, you don't have a guardian angel. What you have devils trying to destroy your life and destroy your mental state, your health, and everything, right? Because they're experimenting on you, right? And because you're proof that they have to get rid of, right? You are proof that they have to get rid of, right? It's like when in the past when the CIA and Department of Defense when they've committed atrocities against people here, the citizens or other people living in the United States with these experimentation, with these non-consensual experiment. What do they do, right? They try to get rid of the evidence, right? And sometimes getting rid of the evidence mean you get rid of the people, right? Labeling them as crazy so no one would believe them, right? Paying people to kill them, right? So come on, understand what's being done to us, right? And never stop exposing them for what it is that they're doing. Never stop, okay? Always keep fighting. Always keep exposing what it is that they're doing to you, and put it out there so other people will know, okay? So, I will. Oh, I forgot one thing. Excuse me. So here's another. So I will send this, right? This is a Zoom meeting um, for a discussion on um, what is it? I think it's on the U.S. justice system and what must be done to eliminate racism, right? So I was sent this yesterday, and when I opened up, immediately when I opened up, it was a police car that was driving by. Whoop whoop. I tell you guys, when I last week when I talked about contacting these civil rights organizations, for 2 days they went quiet. Why? Because they had to go and try to manipulate, whether it be people within those organizations, trying to get the message to somebody. It's like when I was looking to uh, reverse the psychological condition onto me, so I called there was some clinic here in Manhattan, right? That it was a psychoanalytic clinic, right? That deals in like brainwashing and stuff like that. And I called for a whole week. No one ever picked up the phone. No one never picked up the phone. So they will do whatever they can to prevent you, right, from going to any civil rights organizations or human rights organization to explain to them what you're targeting. And so they will try to intimidate and manipulate you into not calling, not going, right? So this is a Zoom call, and if you're a TI, I would, you should register for this. I am going to register for this also, right? So let me move this down here so you guys can see. Okay? This is what, again, how they try to hide what it is that they're doing by trying to silence you, by using the police to intimidate you. Because immediately as I opened up this and I was reading it, they started with the police sirens. Right? Which shows me that they know what they're doing is illegal. But, we all know that. You know what I'm saying? We all know that. Right? And this is what they do. Another example, I was watching The Professional. Just a clip of The Professional. That is the clip where Natalie Portman, the young girl, she went to go shopping, came back, and she was in the hallway. The police snatched her up. They was wearing masks and everything like that. And as soon as that happened, there was a shot where they're focusing on one of the police, obviously wearing a mask, and all I heard was whoop whoop. Again, that same siren sound that they make to let me know that they're remotely monitoring me or they're monitoring my online activities, right? So I guess they say, well, if you come knocking on your door and we're gonna be wearing masks so no one can identify us, right? Because they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, is highly illegal, highly immoral, unconstitutional, against your civil rights, against your rights of privacy, against all this stuff. They know they are breaking the law, but they want to call themselves law enforcement officers, right? They want to enforce the law and break the law at the same time. That's the U.S. justice system for you. That's those within the government. They make the laws, right, and tell you have to abide by those laws, but they don't. They don't. They want to tell other countries that you shouldn't experiment on people, but they do. They have done and continue to do and will continue to do, right? Because that's who they are. When I talk about Machiavellian personality types, that's them in a nutshell. When you talk about malignant, narcissistic individuals, those are the majority of them people on the police force and within law enforcement agencies. The majority, not the minority, the vast majority. Okay? And they all power tripping because they got a gun and a badge. Right? And that's why, a cop can tell a black man, hey, you might not commit this crime, but guess what? I'm going to send your ass away to prison. I'm going to make sure you get convicted. Right? Come on. I mean, we got to be smarter than that. You got to level up your critical thinking. Or at least get some critical thinking. Stop being a damn sheep. Okay? That's what I got to say right now.